Our country is going to start winning again really, really soon. Really soon. We're not winning anymore, folks. We're going to have to start winning. You know, I love you too. I love you too. I love you. You know, we had a lot of big news today. We had a lot of polls. I love those polls. Those guys back there, look at all those cameras going crazy. They tried their best to marginalize. Every night I say it. They never, ever show the crowd. That's why we built this big monster thing behind us, right? They're going to have a hard time hiding that. Do you agree? And I hate to say it. I know you people think you have the best seats, but they're going to become famous. Now, we have something very special all over, no matter where we go. We're getting massive crowds. We had in Dallas at the Mavericks Arena, we had 20,000. Oklahoma, 20,000 people. Mobile, Alabama, we had 35,000 people. We have by far the biggest crowds. Iowa, New Hampshire, South Carolina, we have crowds. Nobody has crowds like we have crowds. And I will tell you, no, it's amazing. I will tell you, it is a movement. It's beyond anything. I got a call the other day from one of the biggest reporters, really a good reporter, but big and legit. And he said, Mr. Trump, how does it feel? I said, how does what feel? He said, what you've done, nobody has ever done it in politics, in the history of politics, what we've created with this movement. I said, I haven't done anything. Because unless we win, it doesn't mean a damn thing. It's really true. Doesn't mean anything. It won't mean anything unless we win. It's all nice. We go out, we have a lot of fun, and people say, great, they did a good job. What difference does it make? We have to win, and we're going to talk about winning in a second, but I have to do this because I haven't done this yet. I brought my family. Okay? I brought my family. And I have a great family, and this is a part of my family, but a very important part of my family. I love my family. I love my family. And I think what I'll do, you know, oh, my wife is going to get so upset. How did she do on Barbara Walters' special? Good, right? Melania. And how did Ivanka do? Great, right? So we have them all. And I thought what I'd do, Tiffany, stand up, honey. Stand up. Tiffany Trump. And newlywed, sort of, although now they have 3 kids. They've been, how long are you married now? Ivanka and Jared, how long? Can you believe 6 years? Can you believe it? Feels like yesterday. Come on up, come on, come on. Come on up, kids. Come on up here, come on. And Barron Trump, you know Barron? And Melania, come on up, Melania, come on. Come on up. Come on up, honey. Now, this is what we call a crowd. They are so lucky that they don't have to do this every night, right? Are they lucky? And Melania's parents are here, and they're terrific people, and they've been so supportive, and we just appreciate it. Thank you. Amelia. Thank you. Where's Jared? Jared, get up here. Come on up. Jared, get up here. Jared's a very successful developer. And he just loves politics now. Come on up here, Jared. Look at him. See the way he dresses? Well, I just want to thank my family. And I have other members of my family that aren't here. But they have been so supportive. It's incredible. And I just want to thank you. And Melania, I want to thank you. And I want to thank Barron for all of your support. Would you like to say hello? Come on, say hello.
Good evening. Isn't he the best? He will be the best president ever. We love you.
Thank you all very much. Okay, Get back to your seat. We have some work to do, folks, right? Thank you. Thank you, Tiff. Thanks, Ivanka. Thank you, honey. Very nice. Oh, boy, oh, boy. Good to have family. You know, I will say this. I know the richest people. I know all my friends and enemies. Some I don't like. Some are terrible human beings, honestly. But the happiest people are the people that have great families. I know them all. I know the good family people. I know the rich people. What you really want to do, if you can be rich and also have a great family, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. But I will say this, that honestly, the happiest people, the people that are really are the people that have great husbands, wives, children. That's really the people that are happiest. So whatever good that does anybody, I don't know, but it happens to be a fact. So a couple of things. I love Myrtle Beach. I've been here many times, all right? And we've got to get I-85 built. It's time. It's time. It's time. It'll bring a lot of business. I know a lot about the business world. And you have terrific courses and terrific places, and it's developing, but you need I-85. Every time I'm down here, they say, Mr. Trump, could you give a plug for I-85? So am I saying the right thing when I say that? I think so, right? So I guarantee you this, when I get in there, it's going to get started really quickly. It's going to go. It's going to go. It's terrible. So what's happened, and it has been incredible. Today I was notified, the Gravis poll, great poll, one of the most important great polls, and the number for Trump is 37. Second place is 15. And then you have a 14 and a 12. Should I tell you who are those positions? It doesn't matter. They're so far behind, what difference does it make? One of the best polls today came out. That's the Fox poll. And in the Fox poll, head to head, I'm beating Hillary by a lot. Do we like that? I like that, right? Because, you know, getting the nomination's great. We got to beat her. She's going to be so bad if she gets in. She will be a disaster. She will be so bad. People don't realize, first of all, she's being protected. She shouldn't be allowed to run. No, she shouldn't be. She shouldn't be allowed to run. You know, in a certain way, I want her to run because she really is so beatable, and we're going to beat her, and we're going to beat her badly. But she shouldn't be allowed. She's being totally protected. What's happening is a disgrace. People are now in jail. And you look at General Petraeus, his life was ruined for doing 5% of what she did. So it's a disgraceful situation. Now, so in Gravis, we have 37. In Ohio, poll came out. You know, we hear about this guy Kasich. Oh, we're killing him. We're beating the governor of Ohio in his own state, which is great. Which is great. And I think it's going to stay that way. Ohio is great. You know, we just got back from Ohio. We had 14,000 people. It was unbelievable. You probably watched last night on television. These guys cover live television. Every night I go, it's live. I think I'm going to catch Regis. You know, do we love Regis? You know, Regis has the all-time record for live. I think if we keep going like this, we'll catch Regis. In Iowa, we're #1 in Iowa, just came out, Quinnipiac poll. And one of the things that's really exciting is they go into categories. When you have the economy, pretty big subject, right? Who's going to be best at the economy? It's Trump. So at the economy, it's Trump 49%, Cruz 11. He's in second place. That's big. When it comes to terrorism, a pretty big subject nowadays, right? Trump is way, way, way in first place. I love it. And when it comes to immigration, and you know, build a wall. We're going to build a wall. We're going to build a wall. We're building a wall. Mexico's paying for the wall. They're paying for the wall. We're going to build it. You know, we have a trade imbalance with Mexico, $45 billion a year. Building the wall is peanuts. It's peanuts. Now, the politicians, you know, they're all talk, they're no action. Building the wall, some of them said the other day, you had like 7 of them. Oh, you can't build a wall. Mexico will never pay. They're making a fortune off us. If you have the right messenger, which will be me, they will pay for that wall and they'll say, thank you very much. And it's going to get built. And by the way, it's going to be a real wall, a very tall wall, taller than that ceiling. It's going to be a real wall that if somebody gets up to the top, they're not going to want to get down. Believe me, it's going to be a long way. It's going to be a real wall. And I always say this when I talk about the wall. We're going to have a big, fat, beautiful door right smack in the middle of the wall, meaning we're going to have doors. And we're going to have people come in to our country, but they're going to come in legally through a process. They're going to come in legally. So immigration, we're at 45 on immigration, 45 to 20. That's immigration. So people have a lot of confidence in us. I mean, if you think about economy, if you think about terrorism, and if you think about immigration, and we're double, triple, quadruple everybody else, the election's over. I mean, how important? Those are the important things. I'm also on other polls way, way, way higher in, like, by many times in a thing called leadership. The one thing, they don't know if I'm a nice person. I am a nice person. But you know what? I am a nice person. Melania, am I a nice person? My wife says yes. So, I am a nice person, but you know what? I don't think it even matters. This is going to be an election that's based on competence. We're tired of nice people, not nice people. We're tired. You know what we're really tired of? Stupid people. Stupid people. That's what we're really tired of. Stupid people. So just to finish off, in New Hampshire, they have been so nice to me in New Hampshire. We're killing everybody. We're at 32. Next is 18. We're just doing great. In South Carolina, even better than that. We're at 35, and the other ones, I don't know. They're in the teens. So they've been so great. They've been so great. And Florida, we're winning in Florida. Can you believe it? I got a governor, I have a senator, and we're killing them. We're killing them. It was amazing. In Florida, I guess I'm around 32, and Rubio went past Bush. I mean, not really hard to do, right? But you have one as a senator sitting who doesn't show up for votes. I don't know how, if I were in Florida, I would never vote for Rubio. He gets his job. He never shows up. He's absent all the time. He doesn't go to the Senate. You elect a person. He's supposed to be in there voting for you. He misses votes on the most important subject, like Homeland Security. Last week, he was raising money in California, and he has a very important meeting on Homeland Security. And then today, I see a billionaire, but not nearly as rich as me, but that's okay. But no, a billionaire named Vandersloot, who'd ever have it, I don't know who the hell it is, but he's supposed to be a rich guy, and he announced he's backing Rubio, and he was on one of the shows, and he's explaining, oh no, let me tell you, I want to know what deal did he make, okay? What deal did he make? Politicians are all controlled, 100% controlled by special interest donors. You know that. All controlled by the special interest, the donors, and whoever else wants to give them a lot of money. And I will tell you, they're 100% controlled. And the big one is the lobbyists. And who knows the game better than me? Does anybody know the game better than me? Oh, I know it so well. And it's a game that's not a very pretty game. And so, I'm the only one I'm self-funding my campaign. I'm self-funding. Everyone else has a PAC. And PACs are bad. They're bad. And the candidates are totally controlled by the PAC. And whoever gives the most money has the most power. And if you think people are giving $5 million and $2 million and $1 million to these PACs because they like the way somebody looks, believe me, that's not the case, okay? And they will be representing companies that are outside of the United States. And those companies will have priority over you and your jobs and everything else. Me, I'm working for you 100%, okay? 100%. 100%. My man. And I don't get up here with teleprompters like our president. Where's my teleprompter? He goes, where is it? I'll come back in 5 minutes. Where's his teleprompter? I don't come up with, it would be so easy. It would be so easy. I'd walk up and I'd say, ladies and gentlemen. You know, it always bothered me too, because whenever I see these guys making speeches with teleprompters, you really can't see through the teleprompter. You know, they're glass. In fact, Hillary Clinton had one the other day. She was outside, and I guess you need a different kind of a teleprompter, but she was outside, and she had these big, huge pieces of glass, and they were painted black, because probably you can't see with the sun. You know, I'm really good at this, so building and stuff, I'm really good at. So probably the sun's a problem. So they had these two massive pieces of glass, and she's reading off this. And I'm just thinking, what about the people in the audience? They can't even see her. They were bigger than her. They were bigger than her. And by the way, Hillary Clinton does not have the strength or the stamina. She doesn't have the strength or the stamina to be president. She doesn't. Doesn't have it. She does not have it. So just to finish off on this, and I'm throwing this sucker away because we have to talk about something. But, you know, so many supporters. Look at this place. It's packed. Look, the people are still coming in. Holy. This was supposed to be an easy night for me. I was flying down to Florida to meet some people, great people, and I was going to stop here. We were going to have like 500 to 1,000 people, right? So then they told me, I said, Corey, tell me, what do you have tonight? Well, it's about 2,000. Oh, 2,000. Well, that's a lot more. Okay. Then they said, sir, it's about 5,000. Then they said, sir, we have about 8,000. Now they have 11,000. This was supposed to be an easy night. Supposed to be an easy night. And you know, sort of funny because the other candidates, take any one of them, they come down, they have like 43 people. In New Hampshire, not so long ago, I had one where we had 4,500 people, and Bush was right down the road, and he had 129. Here's the good thing. They all fell asleep, and they got a good night's rest, okay? My people didn't. One of the things that, it's too bad. Look at all those people standing in the back. It's too bad. You got to get here earlier. Look at them. Look at those people. That's great. It's great. Thank you very much. I appreciate you being here. But, you know, one of the things that came out so strongly in the polls is that Trump's, thank you, I love you too, man, although I don't know, some big guy's calling me. The hell with him. He's a big guy. He's a big, hairy guy. I don't know if I love him. I do love you. I love your soul. But one of the things that came out stronger than anything is that my supporters are, and they will tell you, and you know, I have to be very careful when I speak with all those cameras, because they will, believe me, if I'm off a little bit. That's why if I'm not 100% sure, I'll say around. It's around this or, but they'll tell you, by far, the most loyal supporters. In fact, they say that Trump can do almost anything, and nobody leaves me. And it is true, you know. A couple of things they said, oh, this is the end. This is the end, what he just said. And I liked what I said, right? But they say all the time, these dopes like Karl Rove, he's a dope. He still thinks Romney won the election. I think Romney won. I think Romney won. I'm telling you, he won. Remember that evening on Fox when he went around? He couldn't believe, he just couldn't believe it. And it wasn't even a close election. Romney let us down, folks. He let us down, okay? You know, say what you want. He's probably a nice guy. Who cares? I supported him. I supported McCain. McCain had a problem because I don't know if Abraham Lincoln could have won that race because they had a little problem with the economy toward the end, right? A little tough. Supported him. Then I supported Romney. And Romney disappeared. I don't know what happened. The last month and a half, he did terrible in the debates, the last 2 debates. And then all of a sudden, he went in, and I think he applied for a permit for like a 9-car garage or 11. You don't do that just before you're going to get a vote. People don't want to hear about a 9-car garage. Do you believe this guy? Look at that. What the hell? Come here a minute. Look at this guy. Come here. Look at this guy. Come here. Come here. I never saw anything so terrible. Come here. Get up here. Get up. Just let him up. You can come up. Let him up. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I don't believe this. Come on up. I don't know who this... Honestly, I don't know who this guy is. Get him. You got to get him up here. Come on, Mark. Can you get him up? Let's go. Come on, Keith. Get with it. Get with it, Keith. Let's go. Get him up. You got to see this. Oh, this poor guy. How would you like to be married to this guy? Wait till you see this. This is beautiful. He's a real beauty. So Romney, he's got to come. Security's so good, he can't get through the gates. I'm impressed. So Romney let us down. So we went with McCain, didn't work. We went with Romney, didn't work. And I just said, all right, that's enough of that. This time we're going to do it ourselves, folks. We're going to do it. Because I called the Romney campaign. And I said, oh, no. Come here. I'll tell you what, this is what I call a real supporter. Wow. Thank you, man. Are you married? Are you happy with your husband? She said yes. She fantasizes that he's really the real Donald Trump. Can you believe it? Okay. Thank you, man. That's so much fun. Thank you. Really nice. That's really nice. That's cute. Now I'm sitting here. I'm looking at all these thousands and thousands of people, and I see this big, beautiful head of hair. Boy, is that a fake head of hair. And it is real. We know that. We know. It's real. Okay. So we have to get very, very tough, and we have to get very, very smart, and we have to do it rapidly. We have to do it quickly. We don't have a lot of time left. I am convinced, however, that our country can be bigger and better and stronger and more productive than ever, ever, ever before. I'm convinced. But here's the problem. So the Wall Street Journal this morning, who's starting to treat me nicely. Can you believe they're really starting to treat me nicely, which I respect, because I respect the Wall Street Journal. If they write poorly about me, I'll disrespect them very quickly. But now I respect. In fact, they had a beautiful editorial today, and they had a beautiful, big, full-page editorial 2 days ago, the full page. I love it. Okay. But I look at the Wall Street Journal, I pick it up. Look at that picture. Okay, I'm going to explain what that picture is. Got a lot of people. Look at that. Look at that picture. That picture, it's a picture of Putin and the leader of Iran getting together, and they're now forming a major partnership, a major coalition, and they were both forced into it because our president has no clue. So now we just gave Iran $150 billion We made one of the worst transactions I've ever seen in my life. Forget about deals with countries. This is the most incompetent negotiation I have ever seen in my life. We get nothing. We get nothing. All we do is get nuclear weapons within 10 years and probably a lot sooner than that. We get nothing. And they get 150 billion. They get 24-day periods. They even, in many cases, can self-police. Can you imagine? We think you're building nuclear weapons. Well, we'll call you and tell you, oh, we're okay. This was done by grossly incompetent people. This was done by people that have no idea what they're doing. And we don't even get our prisoners back. We give them $150 billion. We don't even get our prisoners back. We get nothing. We get nothing. So we've now made a terror state, Iran. Look at him. He's sitting there. And Putin looks like he's nervous being with the other guy. You believe it? Because they're now a wealthy terror state. And we could have made a great deal. We should have said, we want our prisoners back. First meeting, 3 years ago. 3 years ago. I mean, one of them's there because he's a Christian. He's a pastor. He's a Christian. We should have said, we want our prisoners back, fellas. Go ahead. Doesn't mean anything to you. Our people want them back. It'll set a nice tone. Because I like negotiation. I like taking something and making it. And we do have to be careful with nuclear. Nuclear is a very bad word. It's a very bad word. And I want to get Obama out because he doesn't have a clue. He thinks he doesn't have a clue. He doesn't have a clue. He thinks, and this is true, he thinks that global warming is our biggest problem. Can you believe this? Global warming. You know, I'll tell you what our biggest problem is, and I hate to even say it. Our biggest problem is nuclear warming. That's our biggest problem. And unless we're smart, and I mean smart and tough and cunning, there are going to be problems like you've never seen. You think Paris was bad? You think that's bad? You think that's bad? We better get smart. So I like the idea of an agreement, but I want an agreement that we win. Now, they should have said, you got to give us our prisoners. And they would have said, no. Guarantee. They would have said no. That's what I do. I do this all the time. It's so easy. It's so easy. And then what you do, bye-bye, we're going, and you get up, you leave. Now you double and triple up the sanctions. Within 48 hours, they call back, okay, we'll give you your prisoners. That's one thing. Then you tell them, after you have the prisoners, after, that you're not getting the 150 billion. No, you tell them. It's too much money. It's too much money. It's what I do. And, you know, a couple of these guys up on the stage the other day, they said, well, you have to give them the money. You have to. Just like they say the wall. Well, Mexico's not going to pay. Why would they do that? They do that because we lose a fortune with them. A fortune. So, I mean, thank you. Boy, that's delayed action over there. Are you guys from Mexico? That little section over there, they liked it. Oh, I think they're wall builders. They build walls. Do you build walls? So, the Iran deal is a catastrophe. We're going to make that so good. That's what I do. I take bad contracts and I make them good. Jared can tell you. I buy people's contracts where they're bad. I love it when a guy makes a bad contract. I do it. Sometimes I throw it into a bankruptcy. Sometimes I restructure it. I do numbers that are so unbelievable. A friend of mine had a company. And the company, he's a nice guy. A big company, good company, everything good. But he doesn't understand banks. And he borrowed way, way, way too much. And he came to me, he needed help. He said, would you call the bank? And I said, yeah, I'll call the bank. I called the bank wasn't behaving. They weren't nice. And these aren't nice people, by the way. Don't worry about, you know, oh, that's a terrible thing. These are vicious, horrible, horrendous people, just so you understand. They didn't want to give him anything. They wanted to destroy him. They wanted his wife, his dog, his house. They wanted everything he ever had. Everything. They wanted everything. So I said, you know what? They're not going to do anything. They're not going to, thank you. They're not going to do anything. I said, here's what I'll do. I'll buy the contract. I bought the contract. I called the bank. Oh, did I do a number on these people? They hate to see me. I did a number. I threw it into a chapter. I negotiated. I did. And then I get credit. And by the way, so many people do that. And a lot of people don't know how to do it. But it worked out great. We will take that horrible deal and we will make it so good. But the problem is, no matter what happens, the money is going to be gone. That's the one thing. That's the one problem. I wish we could move this election up. You know, in a lot of countries, you're allowed to pick your date for the election. I want to pick my date for the election. I want it like next Tuesday. I want it on Tuesday. So, we've been talking so much about border security, and I've been talking about trade. And trade is easy. Trade is just, believe me, Carl Icahn, one of the great businessmen, he endorsed me. He wants to do, I'll put him in charge of China. By the way, China, over $400 billion a year trade imbalance with us. They charge us tax. We don't charge them tax. Nobody knows that. I believe in free trade, but it has to be smart and it has to be fair. We're getting ripped. They're taking our jobs. They're taking our people. They're taking our base. They're taking our money. They're taking everything. They have taken so much out of our country. I call it the single greatest theft in the history of the world, what China's done to the United States. The single greatest theft. And it's not going to go on, folks. You know, we can't continue to lose $450 billion. We can't continue to lose with Japan, with the cars. They roll off the biggest ships you've ever seen. The cars roll off. We lose $70 billion in trade imbalance. We have a thing called corporate inversion. You know what that is? Companies are leaving the United States. You know, you used to leave New York for Florida because you'd save on tax. Now people are leaving and companies are leaving the United States to go to Europe and go to Asia and go to other places. They have tremendous money over there. They can't get it back into the country because the politicians can't figure out a way. And they all agree it should happen. The Republicans and the Democrats. They can't figure out a way. Corporate inversion. Remember it. Remember the term. It's a disaster. Pfizer, big company, a pharma, big company. They announced they're leaving the United States. They're moving to Ireland. Very close to a nice property I own, so I'm not sure I'm too unhappy about that. But Pfizer is leaving. Other companies are leaving. Many companies are planning to leave. It's the thing that drives Carl Icahn wild because there's no reason for this. And we've got to stop it. Don't forget, when they leave, you're talking about hundreds of thousands of jobs. And you're also talking about tremendous taxes that you lose. And you're losing great companies. We're losing our greatest companies. And you're going to have more and more. We have to get somebody that knows what they're doing fast. Under my tax plan, they'll never leave. We have the highest taxed nation anywhere in the world. We're number one. We're number one. Highest taxes in the world. My plan, I'm cutting middle income. I'm cutting taxes. We're going to do a job for the middle class people. We have a problem in this country. It's so unfair. It's so unfair. And we're knocking the taxes of corporations and small businesses down to 15%. And when they bring their money back in, the tax is not going to be so high that they can't do it because it makes no economic sense. We are going to have a dynamic, an unbelievably dynamic economy. It's going to be an amazing, beautiful thing to watch. And we're going to bring our jobs back from China, and we're going to bring our jobs back from Japan, and from Vietnam, and from Brazil, and from all of these countries that are ripping us. They're ripping us. And Ford is building a massive plant, auto plant. They make cars, trucks, and parts in Mexico. And the great state of Tennessee, I love Tennessee. We have the biggest crowds in Tennessee. They had a deal to build with a big foreign car manufacturer, a plant. They're all set to get it signed, and boom, they announced they're not going to do it. They're going to Mexico. So how does that help us? Think of it. They build the cars. They hire people that aren't from the United States. Plants closing all over Michigan and other places. How does it help us? They hire other people. They sell the cars in the United States and elsewhere. No tax, no nothing. How does it help? And I will tell you, it's not going to happen with me. Not going to happen with me. Nabisco is leaving Chicago. They're building their biggest plant in Mexico, Oreos. And you've heard me say it, I'm not eating Oreos anymore. I don't like Oreos anymore. It's the best thing that ever happened to me if I don't eat Oreos, right? I'm not eating them anymore. But they're not going to get away with it. You're not going to be able to take our jobs, take our money, take everything, and then bring cars in, no tax. Oh, come on. And you know, the border is a sieve right now. We have great border patrol, but it's a sieve. They're told to stand down. I went to Laredo, Texas a few months ago. It was unbelievable. I met with the border patrol. They're amazing people, men and women. They want to do their job. They can't do their job. They're told to stand down. They're standing there. They look beautiful. They have the weapons. They have everything. Stand down. Don't do anything. People walk right in front. They say, Mr. Trump, we want to do our job. They're great Americans. They're great people. They want to do their job. They're not allowed to. They're not allowed to. Obama signs an executive order. People, come on in, folks. Come on in. It's like the anchor babies, which I was right about, right? I was right about. A woman's pregnant. She comes from another country. They come into the United States. She has the baby. Now we have a citizen of the United States. Congratulations. We take care of the citizen for 85 years or whatever it is. No good. It's no good. It's no good. And you know what? If you did that with Mexico, I have a great relationship with Mexico. I have a great relationship with the Mexican people. I love them. They're great people. The Hispanics are great people. I'm going to win the Hispanic vote, okay? I'm going to win the Hispanic vote. Because I create jobs. I've created tens of thousands of jobs. I'm going to win the Hispanic vote. In Nevada, they just came out with a poll. I'm killing in Nevada, but I'm also winning big with the Hispanics. Because they know that I'm going to bring jobs back. That's what they want. And they don't want the illegals. The people that are here legally don't want the illegals coming in and taking their jobs. It's sort of sensible. It's happening. It's happening. I hear it all the time. A radio announcer in New York said, man, I'll tell you, everybody loves Trump. And it's an all Hispanic station. He was on 2 weeks ago. He said, everybody loves Trump. It's incredible. He didn't even understand it, but I understand it. They're here. They don't want their jobs taken. So we're going to make great deals. We're going to have better relationships with countries than we have right now. Because believe it or not, I'm a unifier. You know, Barack Obama is a divider. Everybody thought he'd be a cheerleader for the country. He's the opposite. Did you ever see the country so divided? Seriously. Did you ever see it? I'm going to bring back unity. We're going to be friends. We're going to get along. Look at our inner cities. The problems between black and white and everybody. It's just a disaster. You look at Baltimore. You look at all of these different places. You look at parts of Chicago, parts of LA. It's incredible. It's incredible. He's a terrible, terrible cheerleader. People thought he'd be a good cheerleader. I thought he might be a good cheerleader. I didn't see him doing a lot of other good things because I don't have confidence in him. I've seen too much negative. But I thought he'd be a good cheerleader. He's a terrible cheerleader. I call him the great divider. Have you ever seen it? We've never been like this before. I am going to be a unifier. I am going to be so great for jobs. I will be the greatest jobs president that God ever created. That I tell you. It's true. True. But with all of that, my whole little situations when I meet with people has changed in the last week. Because, trust me, I'm going to be great on trade. Trade is easy for me. I know how we're being ripped off. The people on stage with me and Hillary, they don't have a clue about how to stop. They think we're doing good. They said, well, China's our partner. I don't like partners that make $450 billion. And this has been going on for years. So just trust me, trade is so easy. That's my wheelhouse. Just take a look at that's my wheelhouse. Believe me. Let's put it this way. Who would you rather have negotiate against China? Hillary or Trump? Hillary? Trump. Trump! I mean, you know, it started where I really went after Jeb. Because Jeb was supposed to be, you know, comes from a family, a big deal. He comes and he was supposed to be like the guy to beat. So I did a big number on him. And he went down. Now maybe he'll come back. You never know. What are the chances that Jeb Bush comes back? I don't think good. Don't worry. If he does, I'll just get. But now we have to leave him alone. In fact, I said, I don't want to talk about candidates, so I promise I'm not going to do that, okay? I'll mention a couple of things, but I don't want to talk about them. So Jeb, you know, I said low energy, and that seems to have stuck. That was like, that was a disaster. They're not happy. That family is not happy with me. So I said Carson, and actually Carson's a nice guy. I hit him so hard 2 weeks ago. My wife said that was too nasty. That was too nasty. Remember with the belt of this, and I said, doesn't happen that way. My wife said, that's too nasty. So I'm going to say tonight, I like Carson. He's a nice man, okay? Nice guy. He's not going to be able to take us to the promised land, and China's dying to negotiate with him. But he's a good guy. He is a good guy. Rubio. So he's weak on immigration, really weak. Remember the Gang of Eight? The Gang of Eight? One of the Gang of Eight? Then his poll went down like this, and all of a sudden, the Gang of Eight? I'd never heard of that. He's a member of the Gang of Eight. He wants to let people in just as much as Obama wants to let people in. And he's doing this for reasons. And I told you before, somebody joined his campaign today. A rich guy is going to put a lot of money into the campaign. I'm trying to figure out what was the deal, because I don't get it. I don't get him. And I think he's probably nice. I don't know. I mean, you know, I stand next to him in the stand, and I said, Marco, how are you? And he goes, good. And we have a very nice relationship. But he's weak, very weak on immigration, and totally pro-amnesty. He wants to give amnesty to people that broke the law. We can't do it. We can't do it. We can't do it. We got 11. You know, it's funny. We've been hearing about 11 million now for so long, right? For so long. We have no idea. It could be 30. It could be 5. We have no idea. We don't even have an idea who these people are, where they're coming from. And believe me, they're not coming from Syria. They're not coming in from Syria. Not if I'm here, because we're sending them back. We're sending them back. We're sending them back. So many bad things are happening. So many bad things are happening. You look at Paris. You know, Paris is not Paris, and I'm not talking about because of what happened last week. They have sections of Paris where the police are afraid to go to those sections. That's how dangerous it is. The police don't want to go there. This is in Paris, like you remember. How about Brussels? How about Brussels? You look at Belgium. Belgium, you think, oh, Belgium, beautiful, beautiful. The whole place is closed down, the whole country. They don't know what's going on. Nobody knows what to do. It's not the same place. We can't let it happen here, folks. We can't let it happen. They're afraid. The police are afraid to do anything. It's become a war zone. And that's right. Radical Islamic terrorists. That's what you have. That's what you have. And Obama refuses to use the word. I don't get it. He refuses to say it. He can't say it. There's something going on. I don't know what it is, and I don't particularly care. We just get him out. Get him out. Get this guy out of there. But why he refuses to use a term, and you can't defeat somebody, frankly, you just can't. You can't defeat somebody unless you're willing to call them by the name. That's the name, whether we like it or not. I know Muslim people, they're phenomenal people, but there's a problem in there. When I said we have to really be vigilant, and we do have to look at the mosques very carefully. The mosques, a lot of things are happening in there, folks. A lot of things. A lot of things. And you know, the liberal media, you have to watch Sean Hannity tonight. Oh, I'm sure that CNN's loving that. You got those CNN cameras rolling like crazy, and I'm telling them to turn on. But we talked about tonight, you know, I took a little bit of heat. Carson said, yes, he saw it, and then he said, no, his mind wasn't thinking right, and he backed away. I took heat because I said in New Jersey and in Jersey City, I said very strongly and very correctly, I said, there are people over there, and they were dancing in the street, and they were